Hi, Keaton. It's April. I just wanted to give this feedback to you. I think it's sometimes easier to do it through video. Good job with getting your page numbers in there. I did notice that you did that correctly. Excellent job. Let's see that you're, yep, placing that in perfectly. I think you did a great job with being creative with this. Some of your images aren't linking because, oh, actually, let me see if I can link them. I just have to link them on here. You did provide them through your package file. So that's why that is able to happen. So that's good. Okay. So this looks good. I think I would just kind of pull some stuff out just so it's not so crazy busy. It just sometimes the graphics can get in the way of the information. And I think, for instance, here, I really like to see you kind of playing around with the shapes and stuff, but I would keep it simple. Like, for instance, maybe these aren't as heavy, maybe in this instance, we're taking out the heavier colors, and making this maybe more opaque. So it's not so heavy and so big. Everything has equal emphasis where it's making it hard to, to understand where should I look first, second, and third. And we want to make it really easy for the viewer to know where to look. And dial this down at like 15%. Same with this. It would probably be good to go down a little lighter because usually when you screen like this, it also prints darker than you expect. So you really want to make sure it's not super dark. Do you need this gray box? I don't think you do. Keep it simple. I think it's, less is more sometimes. Let's go ahead and make, oh, not that. This line here, if I can get a hold of it. Let's make this line thinner. Let me pull this out of the way. It's like, I don't want you to take care of me. Okay, I'm going to make that like a 0.25, the thinness for that. So it's not so heavy. Like I said, all the emphasis is on, all of the elements here. I would even take this part of this out. Let's try making this like white instead of black. Just trying to make it a little lighter and less heavy looking, because when I look at this, it looks so heavy. All your elements here, you could even make this smaller, much smaller, almost like a tab. Whoops. Where you're having it here, but it's not so big and prominent. Yeah, because this is actually, I would take that down to like a 9-point type. And what if, instead of having this arrow, what if you just flip this? So it was going the other way. I don't know, something to think about, so that like the person knows like, oh, I'm going to go to the next page by, going this direction. I know, you might not even need that. You might not even need that. I think people know to continue, especially if this paragraph goes all the way to the bottom without ending, and that's kind of what we should probably do. So let's move all of this information down. You're going to be adding a table of contents anyway, so you're going to have to be mindful of that space that you're creating. All right, now I'm going to push this up. Let me get my guides back up here. Let's pull this back up to your lower guide. Pull up just one more because it's getting close to your footer. Bring this back up. Perfect. What's this type here getting in the way? Okay, you have some weird spaces going on. Let's get rid of these weird spaces happening here. make sure that you're not putting in spaces for these indents. I'll show you the right way to do it. These indents are too big anyway. So just take out all these spaces in here, even the ones in between paragraphs. I'll show you how to do that appropriately. Zoom in here. I'm getting. Yeah, just get all of these spaces out. Okay. Looks like you just did some weird spacing things in here. So you might want to go back and copy and paste and just put the text back in and redo your style sheets. Just to make sure the copy is right. And you don't have these weird spaces. Okay. All right. So this is how you would indent properly without doing it manually. There we go. Okay, so get your text box right with all of your spacing kind of deleted out of there. So we can do this the right way. Okay, and then I'm going to bring up your styles. So let's go to your paragraph styles. Should be your body copy in here. I'm going to do a select all, and let's actually bring up your paragraph panel. And we're going to switch to the baseline grid here, and that'll kind of snap everything to a baseline grid. The only thing about this, when you do that, your body copy, you're going to want to kind of fix your leading. So let's go back to 12 for your body copy so that it's not so spaced out. Okay. You're going to want to go back, and once you select all, of course, you're going to have to go back into your subheads. Now you didn't set your subheads in here. So let's do a subhead character style. This has to be a character style. And I believe let me bring up your character panel. Arial 10. Okay. We're going to go no paragraph style, subhead. Arial. Let's do bold. Let's do 14. We'll do auto leading, and then color. We'll do that purple color. Okay. The body copy still looks a little like the leading needs to be a little bit more here. Let's do 14 for the leading. Let's go back to 14 for the leading. The only thing is it's not going to snap to a grid unless you have it selected. So let's do select all. This is where we get in trouble here because let's select body copy. Let me go back to, let's do 13 leading. I think that would be best. There we go. Oh, and then I lost my snap to grid. Let's do this again. Let's do a select all. Make sure we align to a grid. Let's go up to preferences and let's change this in your grid. So go to InDesign Preferences Grids, and we're going to change this so that this is 8 points. Okay, that should do it. Let me see here. Let's try 9. Let me snap it a little bit better. Yeah, let's do 9. It looks like it's snapping it better. So what you're doing is you're just spreading your baseline out a little bit more so your copy, your body copy aligns with a little bit better. Okay, so there you go. There's your body copy. It should be aligning. You have some weird, again, some weird breaks in here. I'm not sure why this is showing a plus sign here. Okay, and then you created a subhead here and it's aligned to grid. That's why the body copy is at a plus sign here. Oh, you have two body copies. I see. Yeah, there's some. Let me get rid of this one. We want to just stick with like the one, and then we want to do a snap to right there. Perfect. And we're going to amend this. So we want to click on control and redefine style. So when you click, when there's that little plus sign, it's not letting you adjust, click on the control and it'll let you readjust that. All right. So with that being said, I'll just move everything down here and we'll just kind of adjust because like I said, you're going to need room for a table of contents somewhere in here. And, you know, this will just give it a little bit more room to breathe up here. I feel like this is kind of, you know, there's a lot of crammed information up here. So pull that down, let it breathe a little bit, lighten up your elements so it's not so heavy. Take out any strokes that's on anything. You don't really need that on any of these pictures, for instance. You know, keep it simple. It's already looking a lot better, a lot softer. Let's see what it looks like without all these lines here. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so then let's see how it's flowing into here. It looks like you need a little bit more room. So we're going to pull this all the way to the right because that we have that space. And then we're going to fix any weird spacing we see so we don't have weird things going on here. Set your subhead. Perfect. And the only thing that I see here is, and I wanted to show you, was how to set your indents for your body copy. So go ahead, double click on your body copy, and we're going to do indents the spacing. And over here it says first line indent. We're going to select that to 0.125. You don't want to go any more than that. And what that's going to do is indent right here in front of your, and we don't want that for this. So we're going to go basic paragraph. So once you do that, it's going to assign that to your, it's going to assign it to your subheads, but we don't want that to affect your subheads. So we kind of want to de-sign it from there. There we go. We don't want it to be indented, for instance. Okay, for the subheads, they shouldn't be indented. All right, so I'm going to pull this up just a little bit. And I see that there's a bad break here, right where the subhead starts. We want at least one more sentence to be popped up. Okay, that's perfect. Fix any widows that you see here. You know, you'll need to kind of bump some stuff down. In that case, do a shift return. That will bump, you know, any words down that need to be bumped down to make it look a little smoother. You do have some hyphenation going on here as well. If you go to your paragraph panel and go to the right-hand corner and choose hyphenation, you can dial down your hyphens by, you know, either typing in what you want or going to the slider and choosing fewer hyphenations, and it will adjust. It won't take all of them out, but it will adjust. This information, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I would just set a new paragraph style for this one, just because there's like weird returns here. Hold on. if you want this treated differently, like for instance, if you want this bold, you're going to have to create a new paragraph style anyway. And that's probably why you had two paragraph styles, I'm thinking. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this, let's make this bold. So this is like Arial bold. And we're going to do a new paragraph style. We're going to name this first sentence or first paragraph. So we know what what this is. We don't want any indents. We want it left align. There we go. Perfect. And something else is going on here. There must be, oh, you know what? It's this part that's screwing it up. Let's take this out completely. So we're just dealing with this when we're creating that new style. All right, I would put a little bit more leading in that. So let's do 12 by 18. And this is really weird. Like, I don't understand why. Edit first paragraph, apply first paragraph. Overrides. Okay, there we go. We just needed to override something, maybe a weird space that was going on in there. All right, so separate paragraph style for this information. And then what you want to do is put that subhead in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to choose headline. And then we're going to change headline so it's a little bit bigger. And then also you could add a character color in here too. So let's do that. Looks good. I would probably even make this bigger, to be honest with you, and we could stack it just because it's fighting with the subheads. Something like that would be good. So 21. Perfect. See how that just is, it just makes it so that you're looking at that first after the masthead. Okay, it looks like you have that little line that we want to kind of fix there. Pull that up. All right, so we have a space for the table of contents. We have a nice spacing up here. It's lighter, it's easier to read, it's easier to flow. Some of these elements can be played around with a little bit more. Like for instance, if you want this to show on this side, I would just get, I don't know, if I would make these smaller at least. Let's get rid of the strokes here. They're just so big, and so bulky. Kind of gets in the way of the information. Let's group these together. And then let's make them smaller. Shift return. Just hold down the shift key as you're doing that. And then you could realign these so it makes more sense with the copy. It's not getting it in the way of the information. And then we're going to align this. It's perfectly centered here. And then what I would do is I would probably just make this very simple. Pull this in a little bit so you have a little bit more space. Because you still have some copy that still needs to come over. So I would say move all of this stuff over to the left. So you can gain that space. and then pull this out so it's a little wider. Looks like there's still more information here. It still needs. How much more? Let's see. Ah, one line of text. Okay, so we can work with that. Let's pull these over. That's not bad. Let's bleed these off the side, maybe. Might make sense. There you go. And then we could kind of play around with the top and the bottom here. So that's not getting so close to the information. Pull this up, pull this down. You see how that just frames that communication a little bit, like the information here a little bit better. It's just a nicer flow. You know, these can be centered, but they're not getting in the way of the information. You're using these as just design elements. But they're not getting in the way of the information. You might not even need that. Just take that out completely. You have this bigger. I mean, I don't mind this being up here that big. That's fine. Just making these smaller is what I would suggest. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so hopefully this helps. This is, you know, you do have your elements, you have things going on that are good. I just want you to kind of massage it a little bit, make it stronger. And a lot of it has to do with over designing. And I think sometimes that's just something you learn as you're going through the process of becoming a designer. Sometimes we feel the need to always fill up a page. I don't know why that's not going over. When you don't necessarily have to, you can embrace the white space. White space is your friend, especially with clients. They always want to kind of jam in all that information and then you lose your white space. So embrace the white space, make this a little lighter, easier to read, flow your copy a little bit nice in a nice way where there's no weird spacing, you know, balance out the imagery and the text a little bit better. All right, hope this helps.